Origins of Pepper Potts. Virginia Pepper Potts was originally the executive assistant to Anthony Stark, Iron Man, with whom she has been romantically linked. Recently, thanks to some cybernetic enhancements and her own suit of armor, she has become the armored hero known as Rescue. Pepper Potts got her start at Stark International, then Stark Industries, as a secretary. She became known by her affectionate nickname Pepper due to her freckled complexion. While doing her job, she fixed an accounting mistake made by Tony Stark, CEO of Stark International. This came to his attention, and Stark promoted Pepper to executive assistant. She would soon prove herself an invaluable asset to him numerous times, and would display a business acumen and instincts to rival his own. Often, she would run the affairs of the business in Stark's absence. Pepper was initially quite attracted to Tony, but not at all to his chauffeur and personal assistant, Happy Hogan. Happy was very much attracted to Pepper, however, but she consistently rebuked his romantic advances. Given that Tony was also developing feelings for Pepper, a love triangle between the three began to develop. At this time, neither Pepper or Happy were aware that Tony Stark was secretly the Avenger, Iron Man. Over time, as Pepper came to know Happy better, the two would eventually fall in love. They would marry, and leave Stark International to pursue their own enterprise in the Rocky Mountains, and later in Cleveland, where they adopted several children, unable to conceive by themselves. Abduction. Pepper was eventually kidnapped by Tony Stark's rival, Obadiah Stane, who attempted to manipulate Tony by hurting the people he loved. Afterwards, Pepper told Tony to stay out of her and Happy's lives as she felt he would only cause them more grief. Her relationship with Happy was not without its difficulties, however, and the two would divorce and remarry. At one point, Tony and Pepper had a brief romantic interlude during trouble in Happy and Pepper's relationship. Pepper eventually did settle down with Happy, and the two attempted to supplement their family with more children. Pepper even managed to conceive but lost the baby at the hands of yet another Iron Man enemy. Civil War. Happy sustained critical injuries in a battle with Spymaster during the Civil War, and afterwards Pepper requested that Tony turn off Happy's life support. She felt it would dishonor his memory to see him live in a vegetative state. For her part, Pepper has recently joined the initiative team known as the Order. She has taken on the role of Greek goddess, Hera. Dark Reign, Rescue. Recently, Pepper has returned to being Stark's assistant. Unfortunately, during a dinner party, a bomb was planted by Ezekiel Stane, which blew up. Unable to escape, Pepper was hit with shrapnel, which damaged almost all of her internal organs. Too weak to survive surgery, Tony Stark outfitted her with a strong magnet in her chest to keep her alive, making Potts utterly dependent on the magnet. Although the surgery was successful, it is unknown when or if she will ever be able to remove the magnet. Tony also gave her new cybernetics that fixed her mobility and hearing. When Pepper awoke, she immediately thought that she was becoming a weapon and was losing her humanity. However, Stark later told her that the battery wasn't made by himself, rather it was made by Danny Rand's design for a new battery. This comforts her and she embraces her new cybernetic enhancements. With Tony Stark blamed for the Skrull secret invasion and on the run from Norman Osborn, Pepper is put in charge of Stark Industries. In a secret room, she finds a suit of armor made especially for her, which she uses to flee the building when Osborn's forces show up. Osborn manages to capture Pepper by attacking a passenger jet as she flies across the country, arresting her as she sets it down on a runway. Unable to extract Tony's location from her, Osborn lets her go, and she leaves to try and track down Iron Man herself, taking the codename Rescue after helping the victims of a grain silo explosion. Pepper finds Tony in Russia and manages to get him to recognize her again. He struggled at first as he was in the process of deleting sensitive information about his superhero friends from his mind. Madame Mask shows up on the trail of Tony, being sent by Osborn to track him down, and she tortures Pepper, forcing Tony to confess his love for her. Using the rescue armor, Pepper and Tony defeat Madame Mask, Tony heading to Afghanistan and Pepper disguising herself as Madame Mask so she can return to Osborn to make him believe the mission was a success. Pepper frees Black Widow and Maria Hill from Avengers Tower while the rescue armor she has with her uploads a virus to Osborn's systems. The three women also retrieve a hard disk copy of Tony Stark's memories to restore him to full health. When Tony Stark is rebooted, Pepper has to use her chest magnet to help the process. After managing to save him, Pepper persuades Tony to give her an upgraded chest repulsor unit like his. He also provides her with a new rescue suit. Powers and abilities. Pepper Potts originally had no superhuman powers or abilities. She has shown great leadership when she led the Order as Hera. During her time with the Order she wore Stark telepresence enhancements. This gave her the ability to keep in contact with her team, find people all over the world, and access the Stark SatNet system, which basically gave her access to all of the information in the world. After Tony Stark outfitted her with a strong magnet, an arc reactor combining both Stark and Rand technologies, in her chest, after she was mortally wounded, she gained cybernetic abilities. These abilities have included using a magnetic carrier wave to fly. During the events of World's Most Wanted, Pepper found a suit of armor that Tony had made for her. Dubbed Rescue, Pepper's armor had a wide array of abilities that allowed her to perform heavy search and rescue operations. Due to her fear of becoming a living weapon, Tony built the armor with no built-in weapons. The jet boots of the armor produce no heat. With all of the armor's power directed into defensive systems, the rescue armor is capable of impressive feats, such as catching a jumbo jet that Norman Osborn had shot out of the air. The suit incorporates an AI system called Jarvis, modeled after the Avengers' butler Edwin Jarvis's personality.